Is the Cleveland Browns defensive powerhouse, the one and only Myles Garrett, secretly packing his bags? While everyone is shouting from the rooftops that he isn't going anywhere, the actual facts, the timeline, and the behind-the-scenes drama are starting to paint a terrifyingly different picture. It's an absolute disaster waiting to happen, or perhaps, a strategic masterclass, but either way, you need to know the truth before it blows up in everyone's faces. Before we dive into the deep end of this, smash that subscribe button if you want the fastest, no-nonsense NFL updates on the planet. Let's look at the narrative the media wants you to believe. You've got insiders like Dan Graziano and Adam Schefter insisting the Browns are adamant there is zero, and I mean absolutely zero, interest in trading Myles Garrett. They point to the fact that even when he was rumored to be disgruntled last year, the team didn't blink. They gave him a new contract, kept the core together, and doubled down on winning. It sounds comforting, right? It sounds like common sense. The front office, the decision makers, they are all publicly saying the same thing: he's our guy, he's staying, and we are running it back. Even the way leadership talks about him, it feels like a lock. They say he's going to be on the roster in 2026. They say the plan is to fix the offense and keep the defense elite. But let me ask you this: when has the NFL ever been that simple? Does the organization's public stance actually match the cold, hard reality of the business side of this sport? But here is where things get interesting, and frankly, a little bit shaky. Because while the Browns are saying, "Don't worry, he's staying," the same insiders are whispering about something else entirely: a contract bump. We have to talk about the money. We aren't going to pretend like money doesn't matter. In the NFL, money is the heartbeat of every transaction. If Myles Garrett is the best or one of the best defensive players in the history of the game, he expects to be paid like it. There is a massive, looming shadow over this entire situation: the contract situation of Will Anderson Jr. down in Houston. The rumor mill is churning, and the talk is that the Texans are looking at a record-breaking extension for Anderson, potentially hitting the $50 million per year mark. Think about that for a second. $50 million a year for a non-quarterback. That is insane. Now, do you really think Myles Garrett, a man who has put up historic numbers, a man who has carried this defense on his back for years, is going to sit back and watch another pass rusher reset the market while he sits at $40 million? Of course not. That creates a massive problem. The Browns are already locked into a nightmare contract with Deshaun Watson that eats up space on the books until 2028. How do you juggle that? How do you pay Myles what he's worth without gutting the rest of the roster? If he demands a raise, and the Browns can't pay it, what happens then? The tension is building, and if you think this won't lead to some uncomfortable conversations, you haven't been watching the NFL long enough. But wait until you hear why the structural mechanics of his current deal might have been changed on purpose to make a trade easier than you think. You need to understand the mechanics here, because this isn't just about locker room vibes, it's about the fine print. People keep saying the Browns wouldn't trade him. But look at what they actually did with his contract. They moved the option dates back to right before the season starts. Now, for the average fan, that sounds like boring legalese. But here is the reality: moving those dates back makes him significantly easier to trade during the offseason. It essentially transfers the responsibility of the option bonus from the current team to whoever decides to trade for him. If the Browns wanted to keep him long-term, why would they structure it this way? Why make it easier to offload that financial burden? It's a classic move when an organization wants to keep their options open. And don't get me started on the voluntary workouts. It's early in the offseason. There's a new defensive coordinator in town, a new scheme to learn, and new coaches to build relationships with. You would think, if you are the leader of the defense, the first guy in the building would be you. But Myles didn't show up. Some people will say, it's voluntary, it's not a big deal. But is it? When there is a new regime, new voices, and a new culture being built, you have to be there. He's risking $1 million incentive clause by skipping these days. Now, he's a wealthy guy, sure, but $1 million is $1 million. Why leave that on the table? It's not just about the money, it's about the message. And right now, the message is silence. We can't ignore the history with Jim Schwartz. That wasn't just a simple coaching change, that was a complete implosion. We're talking about a situation where the defense seemed to lose its identity, and there were rumors of players being completely fed up. When a superstar player goes radio silent, when he isn't posting, isn't talking, and isn't showing up to the facility, you have to read between the lines. Has anyone actually heard Myles come out and say, "I'm all in, I'm good, I love the direction we're going"? No. We've heard the team say it. We've heard the front office say it. But we haven't heard from him. That lack of communication is a massive red flag. Before we get to the endgame, I need to know where you stand. This is a massive turning point for the franchise. If this team gets off to a slow start, if the offense doesn't click, and the defense starts to struggle, the trade rumors are going to become a roar. Who is actually to blame for this instability? Is it the front office for the contract mess, or is the player culture shifting? Drop a name or a theory in the comments below right now. So, let's get real about the future. Do I think a trade is happening right now? No. I don't think it's happening in 2026. I think the Browns want to run it back. They want to give this another shot. They want to see if this new offensive plan works and if the defense can stay dominant. But, and this is the but that keeps me up at night, the door is open. The door is cracked wide open. If the Browns look at the 2027 season and realize they need a complete overhaul, if they realize they need a stack of first-round picks to get their next franchise quarterback or to secure a generational talent like Jeremiah Smith, they now have the flexibility to make that move. That is the reality. They have positioned themselves to be able to trade him if the wheels fall off. He is 30 years old. He has been in the league for a long time. He has put up historic stats, but he hasn't won the ring. He's seen very limited playoff success since being drafted first overall. If you're in his shoes, and you're chasing a legacy, and you see the team around you potentially struggling, how long do you wait? How much patience do you have left? His trade value is at an all-time high right now. It won't get any higher. The Browns have a choice: they can keep the superstar and hope the window stays open, or they can cash in on that value to secure the future of the franchise. It's a brutal position to be in. It's a high-stakes chess match. And honestly, it's one of the most intriguing storylines in the NFL right now. We aren't just watching a player, we are watching a potential massive shift in the landscape of the entire league. Let's wrap this up. I want to be clear, I am not saying the guy is gone tomorrow. I'm saying that all the pieces for a major move are on the board. The contract structure, the missing workouts, the coaching drama, and the astronomical cost of pass rushers in this league, it all adds up. We are entering a season where the pressure is going to be immense. Every sack, every win, every loss is going to be scrutinized under a microscope. If the Browns start winning, great. We keep the superstar, we chase the ring, and everything is fine. But if they don't, if the offense sputters and the defense can't carry them, then, the conversations about moving him aren't just going to be rumors. They are going to be necessary business decisions. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's deep dive. I know talking about potential trades for your star players is the stuff of nightmares, but you have to look at the facts. You have to follow the money, the actions, and the silence. I will keep you posted the second anything changes, so make sure you stay locked in. Before you go, if you want the absolute fastest, no-fluff NFL news delivered straight to your feed, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications. You don't want to miss what's coming next, because this situation, it's far from over. I'll see you in the next one.